Welcome to the Mystery and History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one.
Known as a buffalo hunter and showman, Buffalo Bill played a key role in creating the mythical image of the Wild West. He founded Buffalo Bill's Wild West, a show that popularized figures like Annie Oakley and Cody himself around the world. Known for his skills as a guide, the Apache Kid was a controversial figure in the Wild West. After serving in the Army, events transformed his path, making him a symbol of Apache resistance. William H. Bonney, known as Billy the Kid, was a notorious outlaw and gunslinger, active in the Wild West of the United States between 1859 and 1881. A legendary figure, he was involved in conflicts like the Lincoln County War. His life inspired numerous films and popular stories. The Gem Theater, famous in the late 19th century, was a center of entertainment in Deadwood, a town known for its gold rush. Besides gambling, the venue hosted shows and was frequented by historical figures like Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane. A prominent figure in the Wild West, Curly Bill was known for his role in the conflicts in Tombstone, Arizona. He led the Cowboys, a group that clashed with the Earp brothers, marking the history of the American West. Olive Oatman, taken from her parents at the age of 14 in 1851, survived the attack that killed her family in Arizona. Tattooed by the Mojave, she lost her sister during captivity, but upon being released, she became an important figure of the Wild West. James Killing Jim Brown Miller was a complex figure in the Wild West, working both as a gunslinger and as a lawman. His ruthless reputation made him one of the most feared. In the image, several men are shooting near the feet of a companion in an old saloon in Wyoming. Known as the bullet dance, this risky game challenged the victim to dodge the shots. The Lincoln County Regulators, a group formed in New Mexico in 1878, operated in Chaves County during land disputes. Led by prominent figures like Billy the Kid, they were known for challenging local abuses, influencing the Wild West. During this period, Virginia City was a prosperous mining hub, particularly due to the discovery of silver. The city attracted many workers, and its mines were some of the most profitable in the American West. Annie Oakley was a famous American sharpshooter, known for her extraordinary skills with firearms. Born in 1860, she gained fame by performing in Buffalo Bill's show, becoming one of the first women to stand out in marksmanship. In the Wild West, John Horton Slaughter, a legendary sheriff and rancher, led efforts to maintain order in difficult territories. The Texas Rangers are known for their skill in pursuing fugitives and ensuring security along the border. This 1885 photograph, showing Company F of the Frontier Battalion, highlights the unit's notable work, famous for its decisive action during the Wild West period. The Gem Theater, owned by Al Swearingen, was located in Deadwood, South Dakota, in 1878. Doc Holliday, at the age of 20, in his dental school graduation photo, dated March 1872. John Henry Doc Holliday became famous for being a dentist who turned into a gunslinger in the Wild West. Butch Cassidy was one of the most notorious criminals of the Wild West, known for his leadership in the Wild Bunch Gang. His strategic skill and boldness in robberies inspired films and legends of the American West. Known for his daring actions, Harry Longabaugh, the Sundance Kid, became one of the most legendary outlaws of the American West, alongside Butch Cassidy during the late 19th century. In 1890, two women of the profession, using their bodies, posed for a photo in a brothel in Alaska during the Wild West period. The migration of men in search of work created a significant gender imbalance, which led to the growth of brothels. Laura Bell McDaniel, one of Colorado's most influential figures, gained notoriety in the Wild West for her charismatic personality and her skill in managing luxury brothels. Woman with mask and bonnet, uncertain date, likely from the late 19th century. During this time, masks were primarily worn to protect against diseases such as the flu or smallpox. Thomas Edward Ketchum, known as Blackjack, 1866 to 1901, was a notorious outlaw and gang leader who carried out train robberies in New Mexico and Texas. His criminal career ended in his capture and execution. Morgan, Wyatt Earp's brother, stood out in the Wild West for his role in law enforcement. He participated in the legendary shootout at the OK Corral in 1881 in Tombstone. The Earp family is remembered for their courage in a period marked by challenges to public order. Deadwood, a city famous for the gold rush in Dakota, 1876. During this time, the city became a meeting point for miners and adventurers in search of wealth. The Klondike Dance Hall and Saloon, located in Seattle, Washington, was an iconic spot in the city's nightlife in 1909. Men build tracks for a new railroad, linking the Wild West to the rest of the world. Arizona, 1898. During this period, the state experienced a boom in railroad expansion. In 1878, the Buffalo Hide Yard in Dodge City, Kansas, displayed 40,000 buffalo hides. Crossing the Gila River in ox-drawn wagons near San Carlos, Arizona, 1885. This type of crossing was common during the expansion to the west. In 1886, after the capture of Chief Geronimo, many Apaches were forced to surrender and were transported to reservations. The image portrays a tense moment in the history of the Indian Wars. On the Sherman Ranch in Genesee, Kansas, a cowboy with his lasso ready watches beyond the herd over the vast open land as his fellow cowboys wait on the horizon in 1902. In September of 1885, Jimmy McKinn, who was only 11 years old, was captured by Geronimo. When the Apaches were captured in March of 1886, he refused to return to his family, choosing to stay with the Apaches. The image was taken before Geronimo's surrender to General Crook. Baze Reeves, a former slave, was the first black deputy to serve west of the Mississippi River. Known for capturing more than 3,000 criminals and neutralizing 14 outlaws in self-defense, he preferred to capture lawbreakers alive so they could be tried. Famous for his fierce resistance to the invasion of native lands, Geronimo was one of the last Native American leaders to surrender to the U.S. Army. His struggle became a symbol of indigenous resistance. In this bar, registered in 1889 in California, patrons rest on chairs made of bear hides. The bartender, Seth Kinman, a famous hunter who claimed to have killed 800 bears, created these pieces as a striking reminder of the ruggedness of the American frontier. Advertisement for Virginia Bright's cigarettes around 1888. This brand was well known at the time, being one of several tobacco options before brands like Virginia Slims came to be. The advertising used captivating images and persuasive slogans. The Geyser Springs, a famous tourist spot in the 19th century, attracted visitors with its hot springs and stunning landscapes. This image, captured around 1892, shows a young woman working in an entertainment house in Pennsylvania, a common environment during the Wild West period. George Carnac was a lumberjack known in the 19th century, an era when the lumber industry was crucial to the development of many regions in the Wild West. Fred W. Loring, a correspondent, and his mule. He lost his life in an Apache attack 2 days after this photo was taken in Arizona in 1871. The construction of the railroad bridge, built to cross the Kansas River and completed in 1867, was an important milestone for railroad transportation in the region. It facilitated economic development and connected several cities along the Kansas River. Masks and shoes made from the skin of Big Nose, George Parrott, After his arrest in 1881, his skin was used to make these items, illustrating a cruel example of justice in the Wild West, where extreme punishments were applied to notorious criminals. Sandstorm over Midland, Texas, in 1894. These storms, common in the Wild West, were caused by the lack of vegetation and the arid climate of the region. James B. Jim Hawkins, in 1875, confidently displays his weapons as the founder of Company D of the Texas Rangers. His determined gaze and armament reflect his reputation as a tireless defender of the southern Texas border. The first residence at the current location of Dodge City, Kansas, was built around August of 1872. Cowboy Nat Love, around 1900. Born a slave in 1854 in Tennessee, he gained his freedom after the Civil War and headed west. He became known as a skilled cowboy, and in 1876 he earned the nickname Deadwood Dick after winning a major rodeo in Deadwood. In 1889, a new immigrant arrives in an area of a town in the making, looking for land. Guthrie, Oklahoma, was one of the places that saw the Great Land Rush event. Images like this captured moments of everyday life in the Wild West, when caravans traveled long distances, carrying essential resources for settlers and explorers. General George Custer was an intriguing figure in U.S. history, especially in 1863. He became famous during the Civil War and later in the battles of the West. This photo shows Bill Doolin, a famous outlaw of the Wild West in 1896. Leader of the Wild Bunch Gang, he became known for robberies and escapes in Oklahoma Territory. Doolin was tracked down and killed during a raid led by Sheriff Heck Thomas near Lawson, Oklahoma.